What's going on, guys? Andrew Montanez here. You're watching Andrew-JITSU. Here's some news for the week. I'm going to start doing these videos. A lot of you guys may know me from my other YouTube show, MMA Surge. A lot of you guys are asking me to do more videos. I haven't really put much out in a while, but don't panic. I'm going to start putting these out. I'm just going to... There won't really be a set of where we shoot it. Basically, if I have a camera, if I have maybe my computer near me, or maybe not, if breaking news happens, I'll be there to talk to it about you guys. Just send me your questions, comments. I think I know a little bit about the sport and the landscape of it. Since MMA Surge, I've been working in the curation department at Pluto TV. I curate all the fight programming that you see on Pluto TV. So Pluto's a free app. We're like free TV. We have over 100 channels, HD content. I run the fight channels. We have a fight channel, which is like all your fight news, fight videos. We have Fight Life, which is a pretty dope channel. All your behind the scenes classic fights. Then I got kickboxing fights, which is pretty much all glory kickboxing, some K1. And then we got hockey fights, which is just hockey fights of just people, just when the fight starts, fight ends, next video. Fight starts, fight ends, next video. So, haven't been too much out of the game, been working in movies, doing fight choreography and directing, but you guys have any questions about that, ask me. But I'm still pretty connected in the sport, and I miss talking about fighting. So we're going to start doing these, I don't know, maybe once or twice a week, depending on how news drops, and right now it felt like a good time to do a first video. Lots happening in the sport. We're going to touch on the UFC on Fox 16 card. That's a Machida versus Rockhold, which is basically your #1 contender fight in the middleweight division. That should be a pretty cool fight. We'll talk about the undercard and who's on that fight. We'll talk about the whole Nate Diaz, Matt Brown situation, what happened, what made that happen. Anderson Silva we'll touch on. I'd love to talk about the Mayweather fight, and some signings that happened. Let's start with the biggest news today, as this is probably the biggest thing that has happened in MMA. We'll teeter our way down. We have Phil Davis signing with Bellator. In a weird move, I guess I'm somewhat of a purist when it comes to mixed martial arts, and I don't know. It's weird seeing a lot of these UFC fighters go over to Bellator. It just doesn't have the same feel as some other organizations. Maybe this is a start. We've had a couple UFC fighters go over there, and we have this whole thing happening with Quentin Jackson with the injunction that he can't fight on the UFC 186 card. So, I think with Scott Coker there, it's a good organization. I actually think of any UFC fighter going over there. If you have, this is actually a weight class that there's a decent amount of competition. I was taking a look at the light heavyweights that fight in Bellator. Their champion, Liam McGreary, good. He's 10-0. That's a tough fight for anyone. Emmanuel Newton, the man he took the title from, tough fight for Phil still. We saw what he did against Muhammad Law, and Muhammad or King Mo is still in Bellator doing his thing. We got a couple of the, wouldn't call them has-beens, but we got a couple of guys. I say they're on their way out, and they probably should have retired. But we got Tito Ortiz and Stephan Bonner. So there, there's some competition there. It'll be interesting to see what comes about this. But Phil Davis, a pretty marketable name. Good-looking dude, can speak well. He might be good for the organization. I'm excited to see what happens to that. They have not announced who his first fight is. I doubt he'll have to fight too many times to fight for a title. I don't know if they'll do maybe a modified 4-man tournament. I wouldn't mind seeing, you throw Emmanuel Newton, Muhammad Lawal, Tito Ortiz, and Phil Davis in a tournament. It's actually some Bellator programming I'd probably watch, but, we'll see what they do. Who knows? All right, next on my list, there was a big debacle this week. Kind of came and went, and it was kind of weird. So the UFC announced that Nate Diaz, the lightweight, is going to fight Matt Brown, a guy that just lost to Johnny Hendricks, and he's been on the cusp of 170. And they announced it as a confirmed bout. And then yesterday on Arrow Hawani's MMA Hour, Nate Diaz was on saying the UFC never talked to him, never explained anything, never said, "Hey, Nate, do you want to fight Matt Brown?" That never happened. So today, fight was actually nixed. Fight was just taken off. It was kind of a cool fight. Nate in the interview seemed like he was kind of excited for it, but fight got canceled. So we'll see what happens to that. I would actually prefer to see his brother Nick fight Matt Brown, just because Nick fights at welterweight, and his last fight was at middleweight. But that'd be a good fight to have. I wouldn't mind that. All right. Moving on, we had a couple cool fight announcements. UFC on Fox 16 card, which is let's see. Let me just get the date so you guys can follow along. This Fox 16 card. So this is a July 25th fight card. Actually, some big fights for a Fox card. We get one title fight. We get the T.J. Dillashaw Barao 2 or 3, depending on how you want to look at it. Barao pulling out of the fight the day of the weigh-in on the last one, so this is kind of the third time, but it's the second time they fight. That's a huge fight. So T.J. Dillashaw is fighting the guy he took the title from, and should be a cool fight. Also on the card, we got Miles Jury taking on the former champion Anthony Pettis. This is a big fight in the lightweight division. Anthony Pettis is coming off a pretty bad loss to Rafael dos Anjos. Got pretty badly dominated in this fight, and he's fighting Miles Jury. If you guys don't remember, check out the fight. Donald Cerrone kicked his legs as hard as he could, kind of dominated Jury and gave him his first loss, their first official loss. He lost on The Ultimate Fighter against Al Iaquinta. Go Al, don't boo Al, don't boo Al. That's a reference to this. So that's a cool fight. And also they announced Miesha Tate taking on Jessica Ai. So that's a cool fight too. Miesha Tate's in this weird spot right now. She's fought Ronda Rousey a bunch of times, and I don't know. It's kind of like the we'll call it the Uriah Faber thing. He's just on the cusp, almost a champion. Uriah's been lucky because he's tried at a lot of weight class. He keeps trying to get that title since he had in the WEC. He's trying to get. You don't have that opportunity in the UFC right now. There's a 20-pound jump between 135 and 115, so it doesn't. She's kind of got to wait unless the UFC adds a 45-pound weight class. I don't really see Miesha going up. So, until Ronda can retire or clear the weight class, I don't really see Miesha maybe being champion unless Ronda gets injured and they make a interim title. But I don't really see that. So a little bit about Jessica Ai. Jessica's a beast. She's 11-2. She just beat Leslie Smith at UFC 180. She TKO'd her. That was pretty awesome. And her loss before that was to Alexis Davis. And Alexis Davis super, super tough. And besides, she's kind of been on a tear. So that's a pretty good fight. I'd probably lean more toward Miesha on this fight. But I will be watching. And for that being a free fight card, cannot beat that. The UFC is really stacking their board with these free fight cards. Cool. Next thing, Anderson Silva. I've heard this once before from you, Anderson. I've heard it again. I know you want to go to the Olympics. We heard it once from boxing. That'd be kind of cool. But Anderson said he wants to represent Brazil in the 2016 Olympics in Taekwondo. And I actually think Anderson could do pretty well. I would not be surprised. This is pretty far off, but wouldn't be surprised if he medaled, if not won a gold. There's an intimidation factor. There's he's got great footwork, and as long as he plays by the rules in this, he'll do it right. I don't really know what the Olympics. The Olympics is supposed to be an amateur games, and Taekwondo is pretty close to to former fighting. You have a guy Anderson right here that is one of the all-time greats in the sport of fighting, and he's going to go do Taekwondo where he can maybe be fighting a 17 or 18-year-old Taekwondo fighter. So I don't know. That'll be interesting how that plays out. I think he'll do all right. I think it'll bring a lot of intrigue to the Olympics and a lot of intrigue to Taekwondo. And I'm all about spreading martial arts to the highest level. So more power to him. And I'm sure some other MMA athletes could do pretty well in the Olympics. We've had a lot of Olympians transfer over, but we've never had an MMA guy transfer back that way. So that'll be cool. What else? Oh, so this past weekend, I thought this was kind of cool. The Bellator, we had Will Brooks. Will Brooks defended his title. There was kind of a war in the first round. He fought Dave Jansen in the first round. Dave Jansen kind of put it on, but Will Brooks was able to outlast and get himself a 5-round decision and get himself a victory. And also the other fight on the card, you guys might have seen this, is kind of going around the internet. What was the name of the fight card? There was a fight. I'm sorry, I don't remember everyone's names. There's a lot of fighters in this sport, and I didn't really write this one down. But there was a fight this past weekend that was kind of had a weird ending. So it was okay. Here it is. So it was Chad George against Mark Voorhees, and pretty competitive bout. So what happened was in the first round, Chad George kind of got a takedown, or Voorhees pulled a guillotine and pulled guard. And I was watching the fight. I was just yelling, Von Flue choke. He kept, if you guys don't know Von Flue choke, if you have someone in a guillotine, you're holding the guillotine too long, there's a point where you should let go of it, or you'll get your opponent on top of you will drive his shoulder and kind of keep you in this position and choke you out. So there was a point in the fight where you kind of see that. I thought the Von Flue choke was pretty tight, and then Chad George just got up and was like, he's out. And the ref's like, no, he's not. He's out. And Voorhees just had his eyes rolling in the back of his head, just chilling, and he actually was out. And hats off to Chad George for not landing some big blows on Mark, because he was out, but it was weird because his eyes were open and he was almost making this eye contact that he wasn't there, and it was like this zombie eye contact, like some zombie apocalypse eye contact. So I thought that was kind of a cool fight, but the thing that blows my mind the most is the money these guys were getting paid. So I pulled up the salaries for this fight card. You got Will Brooks. He made himself $72,000. He got himself. He defended his title, got $72,000. That's pretty good. Then you work your way down. You have Rafael Carvalho beats Joe Schilling, walks away with $8,000. Work our way down. The fight I was talking about. You got Chad George trying to make a name for himself on TV. He's $1,500 to show, $1,500 to win. If he loses, he's only making $1,500. So, kind of a flop in how some of these guys get paid. I see over here Marcos Bonilla loses to AJ McKee. He made $1,000. Most of these states $300-400 to get licensed. Then you gotta pay your cornerman, and even if you're not paying your cornerman, let's just say you're signing up for a gym membership. I don't know. You get called about 8 to 10 weeks before a fight. You got about 10 weeks. That's food. That's training. That's coaches. That's supplements. That's classes. That's your life. That's your rent. I don't know many other states you could, survive on $1,000 for anything. It's not Bellator's not really given the opportunity to some fighters to really be full time, take it full time. Like I said, you got Will Brooks making $72,000. He beat Dave Jansen. He made $12,000 after taxes. That's like around 10. It's not a crazy amount of money. It's I'm not saying I've never made more than maybe $7,000 in one fight, and I was super happy about that. But I think there's just a discriminancy, or just I don't know. Let's see, Viacom net worth. So Viacom as a company, $6.2 billion. They're paying their fighters minuscule money. But on the flip side of it, like, you know, speaking of exploitation, you got the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, which tickets haven't even really gone on sale, but they're just ripping people off. If you're gonna buy the fight from home, $90, bam, $90. If you're gonna watch the fight in Vegas, you can't even order from your room. You go to a bar, $150 per head, $150 to watch these two guys fight each other. I don't get the exploitation of doing this to people. You know, we pay for a lot of fights sometimes for like $60, $70, but there's only one fight you want to watch, and you know, just because there's gonna be a lot of people that can't afford this fight that aren't gonna get to watch it. There's gonna be a lot of younger people that are big boxing fans. Like, I got a full-time job. I don't want to drop $150 on this fight. I'm be watching from my little apartment in Hollywood, California, on my little 32-inch TV, paying $90, paying more than I pay for my entire cable bill. So that's kind of crazy. You know, tickets are crazy high, expensive. So I don't know. That's just a little rant about money, because I don't know. I think there's in the sport, you know, guys are getting paid good, guys are getting paid not. I like how UFC's doing this whole Reebok deal. They're gonna get some guys some money. If you're ranked top 15, you're gonna get money based off the percent. But yeah, it's just it's kind of it's not fair across all the boards. You know, I don't even want to talk about what World Series of Fighting guys are making, and I got homies fighting on the East Coast for much less that have some really good skills, and I kind of hope that they don't jump too soon and see a contract from, you know, one of these small organizations and jump on it. And you know, it's tough to give that advice, you know, but you know, it's sometimes worth waiting it out, get your skills together, make sure you are as prime and top form of fighter you are, so you have the most marketability and most way to make money. So let's jump into the main thing I want to talk about. I just want to give some predictions. We got UFC Machida versus Rockhold. So we got Luke Rockhold, 15-2. He's a 30-year-old. You know, you look at Rockhold. You know, why is he so good? He was 9-0 in Strikeforce. He was the last Strikeforce champion. You know, his only loss in the UFC is to Vitor Belfort. You know, Vitor's a fucking watch my language. Vitor's a phenom, but he's not fighting anyone easy. He's fighting Lyoto Machida. I don't mind this fight. You know, if I like it as a fan, absolutely amazing fight, awesome fight, great fight, awesome fight in the middleweight division. The person that wins is probably gonna get himself a title shot. I just don't know if Machida wins. I don't know if he deserves a title shot. I see him fighting title fights so often. You know, I believe he's gone 5-5 in his last 10 fights, and 4 of those I think were title losses. So that's just a tough spot to be in. You know, he did give Chris Weidman probably the best fight anyone has ever given Chris. So I definitely you know, root for that. But I don't know. If I'm gonna pick a win on this, I'm gonna go with Rockhold. I think he might grind out Machida. He could even finish Machida. Maybe he puts him in an awkward position on the ground, gets a side control. But great fight, really good fight. You know, I think if anyone presents the biggest test for Chris Weidman, is someone in Luke Rockhold, being that he's probably the most well-rounded guy in the sport, or you know, if not the division. There's not many other guys that are as well-rounded. He's an athlete. He surfs. He skateboards. He just got good control of his body, and he's been doing this a long time. And so is Machida, but it's just a different style matchup. We'll see how his kickboxing style handles the karate style. Other fight on the card, we got it was supposed to be Jacare against Yoel Romero. Yoel Romero got hurt, and now he's fighting Chris Camozzi. So I've spoken with Chris before. We did an interview on MMA Surge. This is a tough fight. We interviewed him before he first fought Jacare, and that was still a tough fight. He's a great fighter. He's 1-4 in his last 5 fights, and he's coming into this fight. You know, he's got a 1-fight win streak, but you know, he's got a second chance at a Rocky story. You know, definite second. You know, Rocky didn't win the first time, and Rocky won. So if you guys don't remember, Rocky didn't win. Rocky won and Rocky 2. So this is it's a cool fight. You know, I'm gonna give it to Jacare just because he's Jacare, but we'll be watching that one. And the other fight on the card is Paige Van Zandt versus Felice Herrig. I like this fight. Two smoking hot girls fighting each other, both super skilled. Paige Van Zandt, she's got herself like a Reebok deal. She's 1-0 in UFC. She's only 4-1. She's fighting Felice Herrig, who's 10-5. This is actually one of the better. Good job, Joe Silva, for the matchmaking on this, because both people they share a loss to Tisha Torres. They both got 30-27 to Tisha Torres as their last fight, as their last loss. So I like that fight. Overall good card. That's pretty much that. And in sad news this week, Kevin Rosier, you guys remember him from UFC 1. He was a big dude. He went 1-1 UFC 1, lost in the semifinals. He passed away this week. He was a 3-time WKA super heavyweight champion. And just rest in peace, all you fans. Let's just remember the guy. That's one of the guys that helped make our sport what it is. And hope you guys enjoy that. That's pretty much my news. This is pretty much how they're all gonna go. You can follow me at Andrew-JITSU. I'm pretty easy to find. Check out Pluto TV, free fight stuff. I'm all about spreading fight stuff for free. I didn't charge anything for MMA Surge. I'm probably a terrible businessman because I don't charge for stuff. But I just want to keep spreading the knowledge and re-engage with you guys, and let's talk fight stuff. Let's watch these fights together. I'm gonna start effing around with this Periscope app. So if I'm at a fight, if I'm meeting a fighter, if I'm doing this, I just may go live. I don't know. I may go live, but that's it. First episode of Andrew-JITSU. I'm back. We'll start doing techniques. I'm trying to get some other fighters in to do some techniques. I had a bad back injury a little while ago. I'm not going to touch on that too much, but it's kind of why I stopped doing MMA Search. But I hope you guys like the show. I'll do many, many more of these, and this is just a start. And go fights. Peace.